Today on the Driver's Corner, we are working on the 2004 Porsche Cayenne. Stay tuned. So I've had the Porsche for about 500 miles, and guess what? I'm working on it. So not surprised after my experience with the 996. But there's been a couple things that I knew when I bought it that I was going to have to do, and a couple things that popped up that I didn't know. So what I'm working on today is changing out all the ignition coils. I ended up with a cylinder number 8 misfire, and so I started troubleshooting, found out that I had a bad ignition coil, and now I'm replacing all 8 of them. Also, the expansion tank was leaking. Occasionally, it wasn't doing it all the time, but every now and then the expansion tank would leak. So in order to do that, you also had to take out this motor mount right here. And this one is completely broken. I'm going to show you something really funny. So yeah, you think that needs to be replaced. So I've got another one of those going in. You have to take it out anyway to get the expansion tank out. So all this stuff that I bought adds up to about $300. So not the end of the world. And it should take me about 45 minutes to do this stuff. This is not a how-to, just kind of an update on what I have to do to the Porsche to get it back on the road. So I'm going to flip you around here in a second and show you a couple things. So a couple quick hints. You might be asking, why do you have the headlight out on the Porsche if you're working on ignition coils like this and expansion tank? Well, in their infinite wisdom, this tank is shoved back inside the fender here, and rather than take out all the air box and do a bunch of nonsense, I decided to get to the bolt. You can see it right there. There's a bolt that goes right there that holds that motor mount in place and also stops the expansion tank from coming out. So I went ahead and removed the headlight to gain access to that. I used my Super Monster extension there, which worked out great. And now I'm going to go ahead and try to wrestle this expansion tank out of there so that I can put the new one in, and then I'll go find my new motor mount, this dog bone right here, that I have tucked away in the garage somewhere. I knew that I saw when I bought the Cayenne that this was cracked. I didn't know that it was that bad, but I went ahead and ordered one basically the day that I bought this car, or SUV, I guess. And so I have one, it's somewhere, and I'm gonna go find it. So I have pulled out that right there. I've disconnected all the lines except for the bottom one because I'm gonna do my best to capture all of the coolant that's gonna spill out of this thing. I'm kidding. It's just gonna spew out. Yeah, there it goes. That's all going into an environmentally safe pan on the ground. Ah, crap. I mean, I already got one down there. Oh, according to the internet, this thing just slides right out now. Hey, and it does. All right, so I got a new one of those. It's supposed to slide into that little bracket right there, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna go ahead and clean all that nasty out. It'll slide into there, and then I've got a new cap for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this down because that's how I roll, and then we'll try to put the new one in. Alrighty, so we got the Rhine Automotive. It's made in China, going into my German car. Go ahead and get this thing unboxed here carefully, and we'll hopefully stop leaking coolant. We're going to inspect that one here in a minute and just see if there's any areas where it was leaking. So alrighty, so unboxing. This was supposed to come with a new cap. It did not, so I'll have to contact the seller, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it in anyway. So this should slide right back in there after I wipe all that crap down. All right, so I've got the tank held down right there. And then I'm just gonna reconnect all these little lines. I got the one on the bottom with the worm clamp done. And it slid right in, and it's held into the track. So I'd say that portion of the project is complete. All right, here we are. It's another day. I went ahead and I'll show you this. I got I put the new motor mount in. So I've got that new motor mount to replace the other one. I went ahead and checked all the coils and swapped out some coils. I'm gonna show you, even though I only had one cylinder that was misfiring, I'm gonna show you what a lot of these look like. So this coil right here is from cylinder number 4. And if you can kind of take a look at that, it had a really hefty crack all the way down the casing. This one here was a good one, but this is what they should look like. Also, every time I went to pull one of these out, the boot would tear. So the boot would tear off and be stuck around the spark plug. And so I ended up having to get these handy pliers right here. They're super long, and I could reach down into the spark plug hole and yank it out. So new expansion tank's done. Look at that right there. And she's purring like a kitten. It's showing a code for mass airflow sensor circuit A. It's showing an issue there, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. And then my next thing I'm gonna be doing is replacing this purge tank solenoid. I did buy, I think I mentioned it earlier, I did buy new fuel pumps, but I am gonna wait to do those until I feel like it really needs it, because I bought them as a precautionary. Somebody said it might have been, my issue might have been that, but it turned out it was the coil. So anyway, yeah, successful project for the day, and I'm gonna go take it for a drive. So overall, I'm at another $300 in parts into the Cayenne, and we will keep you updated as this budget Porsche continues to take my money. Again, I do appreciate you guys tuning in. This is just a quick little update on what I'm working on. Next, actually, the Jeep, the air conditioning stopped working. I tested the charge is good. All the fuses are good, all the relays are good. So the Wrangler is probably gonna need a compressor, or at minimum, the clutch isn't working. So the clutch for the air conditioning compressor. So that'll probably be the next thing I start tinkering with, as long as this thing gets me to work and back on Monday. So again, thanks so much for tuning in. Check out any of my other videos. Also, if you haven't seen my tire review that I did on the Achilles Desert Hawk UHPs that I put on this Porsche Cayenne S, as well as our Range Rover Sport, you're gonna want to check out those tires. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.